What's good, everybody? RJ Shun here, back with another episode of Off the Top. So, as you see here on the screen, got my good brother Tony Lippett, aka Lip. What's happening, partner?
What it is, what it do, man.
And this is the Spartan Dog edition. You already know what's going on. We've been doing this for too long. You'll get the drift of when we go ahead and do what we do. Let's go ahead and talk about the Detroit Lions. We are 50 days away from the first regular season game for the NFL to start. We got the Detroit Lions playing their first preseason game this month, the 31st. Football's here, people. It is here before you know it. And I think it's like 39 days until college football. So we got Michigan State coming on, seeing what they're going to be about this year. Exciting season. But let's go ahead and get back to the Detroit Lions. Just some things kind of I've seen just story-wise, obviously from different, beat writers, sports writers. One that kind of stuck out to me the most, this was out of just the Sports Illustrated. Aiden Hutchinson saying believes that there's just a whole nother level to his game. That's what I'm reading. This was posted an hour ago. And when I hear that a guy is hungry. And we all know what Aiden Hutchinson did last year. If he did get hurt, I guarantee he probably would have broke the most sacks in the season. The way he was on pace to do what he was doing. He's definitely one of those guys that are going to be a game changer on the defensive line and a game record, especially in all of these, 18 games that they play. There was also Jahmyr Gibbs playing a lot more wide receiver than running back. I don't know, what that entails. I mean, he's a guy that just needs the ball in his hands, and I feel that if who's the other running back there? Montgomery wasn't there, that he would be able to do a lot more, even though he is doing a lot more with the ball in his hands, regardless of his running, passing. Who knows? He might throw it too, but catching. He's just an absolute playmaker, and I think that's another guy that's going to have probably another huge year, like a statement year, like, hey, I'm top 3 running back in the league. But obviously you hear everything going on. I had mentioned 2 things. Just what are you most ready for the Detroit Lions?
I would say I'm ready to see how they respond, how they respond from last year. I mean, this was a team that, if I'm not mistaken, last year they won like 12 games in a row in the middle of the season. They were just beating down everybody. I think they put up 60 points on the Jaguars and only gave up like a 3-point. So I think it was like 50-something to 3. We're seeing the last couple years of the Lions program like rise. Feel me? The culture has risen. The energy around, Detroit, the fan base, the stadium, every Sunday, it's like, bro, even when the Lions wasn't winning, Sundays were still okay. But now that the Lions are a very competitive team, a winning team, Sundays is a big day. Like,
Right.
a really, really big day, no matter the weather and none of that shit. It's a really big day. So I'm excited to see how they respond from losing a home game last year in the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, they had a bye week last year in the playoffs. They was the 1 seed, right? Yeah, so they was the 1 seed, and it came down to the last game against the Vikings, fighting for the 1 seed. They won that, got a bye week, and then came out there, after a whole, 2 weeks off, kind of. After a whole 2 weeks off, run up against a Commanders team that was hot, coming off a really hot win the week before that in the wild card. And then going against a quarterback that was a rookie last year, but he played astronomical. He didn't play like a rookie. He made plays. He made you can tell his energy radiated through that whole locker room, through the fan base, even through the coaches. Like, sometimes a player can come in there and spark coaches. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes even coaches get comfortable in how they do things. And then you get a player to come in there and challenge you, not, aggressive, but just challenge your way of coaching, your way of organizing, your way of pre-gaming, planning, all of that. And it just make you pay a little bit more attention. I think Jaden Daniels made Washington and that whole fan base, coaching staff, players do that. So I'm excited to see how the Detroit Lions defense show up this year. Obviously, they already got an injury now. If I'm not mistaken, a defensive lineman tore his ACL. I probably say a few days ago, and he's going to be out for the season. So that is already a thing. Like, I remember saying this a few weeks ago. I said there's going to be players to get hurt and miss the whole season. Like, this is sports. There's going to be some guys. We wish it not. You want the numbers to be lower and lower every year because you don't want guys getting hurt in practice. Getting hurt in practice is fucking terrible because it's like, bro, I wasn't even. You feel me? It's not even the game. It's like, damn, like. All right, whatever. I'm excited to see how their defense respond this year. I'm excited to see how the quarterback and the offense just respond. New coaches, new offense coordinator, defense coordinator. Is the culture going to be able to overcome that, or are they going to take a step back? That's what I'm looking for. So excited to see what the Lions got this year, man. Let's get it.
It's going to be always good to see what happens, especially in the NFC North. But as we just see from 2022, right? So we'll go to 2021. They were 3-13-1. Then we go ahead and hit 2022. They were 9-8. That year, they went ahead and went into Lambeau and beat the Packers to go on a high note. That was a really big game. I remember that vividly. And then 2023, 12-5, and then 2024, 15-2. I'm gonna go ahead right now, kind of go ahead and throw a little wrinkle. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the season, and I just want you to say win or loss, just straight up. What do you think when I go ahead and say their schedule all the way from week 1 all the way to the end of the season?
And this is the Lions.
And this is the Lions.
All right.
So Lions, they face the Packers. Obviously, week 1. Who do you got there?
Lions, Packers, week 1 in Green Bay. I got the Lions.
Bears versus Lions. That one is in Detroit.
I got the Lions.
So they're 2-0 right now. Lions versus Ravens. This one is in Baltimore.
I got the Ravens.
2-1. Browns versus Lions. This one is in Detroit.
I got the Lions.
So then they got Lions versus Bengals.
That
one is in Cincinnati.
This will be game 5. Because these next 3 games is going to be pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go they beat the Bengals.
And then they go ahead and go to Kansas City.
That's a Sunday night game. I think they beat the Chiefs.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 5-1. 5-1 right now. Heading in the middle of October. And then we got the Buccaneers. That one is in Detroit.
I got the Bucks. In that. They'll be coming off 2 big wins against 2 good quarterbacks, both away games. 1 to 4:25 game in the afternoon, so that's a big premier game. Against the Chiefs, that'll be a Sunday night game, and then they come back and play Monday night versus Baker Mayfield at home. Coming back home, they might relax a little bit. Baker Mayfield might come in there and get them one. So I got the Bucks in that game. Right before the bye week too. They'd probably be thinking about the bye week.
you know how that goes.
Trust me, I know.
And then we got Vikings versus Lions. This one is in Detroit.
I got the Vikings.
Then we got Lions versus Commanders. This one is in DC. Shit, this schedule is crazy.
I'm going to go. That's going to be a tough game. Sheesh. I'm going to go they lose.
So then we got. So we were at let me see here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was that 6-2, 6-3?
6-3, because then you said they were going to go ahead and lose basically to the Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
Yep.
And then Vikings, you had them winning that one, right?
No, I got the Vikings winning that one. I got them losing. Okay. I got them winning versus the Chiefs.
Okay.
And then you had Okay, we got Packers. They gonna win Packers. They win Bears. They gonna win Browns. So I had them winning Bengals. I got them winning Chiefs. I got them losing to the Bucks. And I got them winning. So that's 6-3. 6-2 right now.
6-2. And
6-2.
After that, Commanders, and they go ahead and face the Eagles in Philly.
I got them losing to the Eagles.
And then they got the Giants at home.
They're going to beat the Giants.
And then they got the Packers in Detroit.
Thanksgiving, they beat the Packers.
And then we go ahead and have the Cowboys. That one is in Detroit.
I think they beat the Cowboys. They don't really like the Cowboys. They're going to be ready to play. They beat the Cowboys.
Then they face the Rams. That one is in L.A.
They lose that game.
And then Steelers. That one is in Detroit.
Steelers, by that time, that's week 15. What would the Steelers be at that time? Who will be the better team in week 15?
Lord only knows what the team will look like.
I'm going to go Lions win that game.
And then Vikings. That one is in Minneapolis.
I think I had the Vikings beating them the first game.
Yeah, you did.
I got the Vikings beating them again the second game.
And then you got Bears to finish it off. That one is in Chicago. It's about to be cold as hell.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Bears.
All right, so if we go through it one more time. So we have a win against the Packers. So we got a win against the Bears. So we got a loss against the Ravens. So we got a win against the Browns. You had them beating the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have them losing to the Chiefs. No, you had them beating the Chiefs.
Yep.
Then you had them losing to the Buccaneers.
Yep.
Then you had them losing to the Vikings.
Yep.
Then you had them losing to the Commanders.
God damn.
Then
Yep.
you had them lose. Did you have them winning against the Eagles? You had them losing against the Eagles.
I got them losing against Eagles.
Then you got them losing against the Eagles. So that October 20th through that November 16th, first off, playing those type of teams is insane.
Yeah.
Like, those are very good football teams to be playing in really a very crucial part of your schedule. Like, that's kind of like the middle of the season where you're like, all right, we got to make some noise. And sheesh, we shall see. And then you got them beating the Giants. You got them beating the Packers. So you basically saying that the Packers are just Swiss cheese. Cowboys, you got them beating them. That's what you got them beating there. And then you have them losing to the Rams. You got them beating the Steelers. You got them losing to the Vikings, which is crazy. I think they might split, but who knows what the Vikings are going to do.
I think they might split too. The more I'm thinking about it, I think they might split with the Vikings. But I'm going to just, okay, they're going to split. I don't know if it's going to be home or away, but they're going to split with the Vikings.
And then you got them add another win, and then you got them basically sweeping the Bears.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Or it might be 11. Basically, you got them over 10 wins. I mean, we're not doing the whole math here because we've been going back and forth. But 10 wins for the Lions could be, if I look at it, I think that they're a good enough football team. I think they're still going to go ahead and take care of the NFC North just due to what they've shown me the past 2 years. And I know there might be maybe a little bit of hiccups in the offense so where, you don't have your main guy that was there that was going to go ahead and do certain things. But I think that team's intact to where they can go ahead and definitely take care of the NFC North. Though the games that you kind of had were like going back to that stretch in the middle where it was Buccaneers, Vikings, Commanders, and Eagles. I personally think that they can go ahead and definitely take care of the Vikings.
Yeah,
the Vikings are good. Even though the Vikings are solid, don't get me wrong. But I just feel that they are, I wouldn't like the depth chart, but it's just like they have it, I feel, right now more than the Vikings because we don't really know what JJ is going to do, what Carly's going to do. That's always going to be the biggest question. But he does have people around him, but we haven't seen it in high pressure situations because this is where shit really matters in the season, as we said earlier. Like, what is JJ going to be in the middle of the season at the quarterback position? Is he going to go ahead and be able to handle certain things? Is he going to be able to read coverages? Is he going to be able to go ahead and make the right plays? Is he going to make the right checkdowns? Injuries play a part of it too. Like, what's going to happen there? But I just don't. If you build an identity the way the Lions have, I just don't see that not changing. I don't see it them not going ahead and being able to run the ball. Running backs doing what they need to do. Sam Laporta going ahead and being open. You got St. Brown, you got Williams, you got playmakers all over around that can go ahead and do what they need to do. And you got Jared Goff, one of the best quarterback in that division.
All right, how many on the Lions offense, who is the player that can take over a game, like any given Sunday, can take over a game? That you can really take over a game?
Can take over a game for sure. I personally think that's Jahmyr Gibbs. I know, but they got so many people. Like, I could have went ahead and said St. Brown. I could have went ahead and said Sam Laporta. I could have went ahead and scratched all those.
You think Laporta can take over a game?
I think Laporta can take over a game.
Like one game or like 6 games?
In between 1 and 6. I say he could take over for sure like 3 games.
I don't know about he can take over 3 games. Because, I mean, he can have good numbers in 3 games. But when I say take over, I mean like you are the guy. Like no matter what's around you. Like, I can go to you no matter what's around you. Like, if Gibbs and St. Brown ain't playing for 3 games, Laporta can carry the load?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, I know Williams could too, but it's just like I think that majority, if there's one person that's going to go ahead and be like, all right, like we need something to go down, it's going to be Jared Goff. Like, that's the main guy because he's the one that has to make decisions, give it to you.
I think I think the people on this offense that are the main course meals are St. Brown, and I give it to Gibbs. I think everything else around that is like it's good. It's good additions. You know what I'm saying? They're really good additions. But J-Mo not a number 1. He may be a number 2. I think he's number 2, but he got to play better this year. But whatever, we'll see. I got him winning around 11 games. A couple games off from for the last couple years. And we just have to see how they work. I mean, a lot of things can happen. We got to worry about the defense. Got to worry about the coordinators and how we gonna go about that. But I think they'll still be in good hands. The coach will still be the coach, and the Lions will still be in the playoffs, fighting for a Super Bowl. So I like it.
Moving on real quick, obviously through just the other great sports that are in the Michigan area. Pistons went ahead and took care of their summer league. They finished with a final record of 3-2. Really didn't watch a lot of it, but when I did, it's just tough to watch that. It's just young guys obviously making a name for themselves. But I guess going 3-2 better than 2-3. If you're showing progress on the winning side, that's always good. So long time.
I think the summer league is more for like coaches.
Yeah.
It's players, but it's more for like coaching development for the coaches to like see like, okay, who is the next really good coach that can coach up these guys that's trying to fight in this limited time? Who can really get these guys aboard right now? Because the summer league is only like what, a 2-week thing.
Yeah.
What coaches can really relate to these players, articulate themselves well enough to where they can, the players can comprehend what are they saying, what do they want them to do, have a vision, have organization. I think that's more for the coaches because the players are just a bunch of players trying to, you feel me? Like they ain't really trying to get so much coached up. They really trying to show something so a team can be like, oh, I can go get him. You feel what I'm saying? And most of these guys are known. That's how basketball players is. It's only 15 of them motherfuckers on the team. Like, right now, they know who probably gonna be in the NBA. That's 13 years old right now. Like the best 13-year-old basketball players in the world right now, they are under the NBA umbrella already. Like they already probably talking to Nike, and that's what basketball because it's so limited. Football ain't like that. You can have 50 offers in football and never talk to Nike until you get to the NFL. But high school basketball is so limited. It's limited players, limited team. I'm just talking about NBA, like the best of the best. And I feel like the best of the best are NBA players. It's just another way to look at the summer league. I don't really watch it like that. I watch a couple of the matchups where people talk and people play. But besides that, I really just think it's about who can get it going the fastest, who can learn the fastest, and who can teach in this limited time with these players that you don't know. Who can, lead their team in the best way, players and coaches. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point of view of it. I just watch, but this year is kind of hard. I ain't gonna lie. It's just the Bucks and the Pistons. Just one time, I'm about to put Netflix on or something. I'm about to put on golf. But let's move on over to the Detroit Tigers. They're still number one in the division, 60-41. They went ahead and lost last night.
All right.
Yeah, to the Pirates. They go ahead and face them today. Hopefully, go ahead and get 2 games so they go ahead and win that series. I know you see who's at the top of the list now, the MLB.
Who was that, the weak-ass Brewers?
Yes, Lord.
Damn, y'all 10-0 in the last 10 games? See, that's what I'm saying. Man. That's how baseball is, bro. It's like, bro, 10-0 is crazy, but you can go 0-20 in the next 20. Like, it's crazy, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But, no, they'll go ahead and get this. I mean, still being 10 games ahead, like you said, it's just baseball is just a crazy game. Like you can go ahead and finish July, go to August, and all of a sudden now you're looking like, damn, like we just lost like 15 games in a row. Like how does this even happen? Now you all the way 4th in your division. Now you fighting to go ahead and get into a wild card to go ahead and play 3 games to get into the whole championship or the World Series hunt or whatever. It's like, golly, sports is crazy. I feel like they're definitely going to get it squared away. It's nice to have the Midwest have the best baseball teams right now. You got the Detroit Tigers, you got the Chicago Cubs, and you got the Milwaukee Brewers all top in that. So that's always dope to see. Let's move. I know we're obviously to speak on it. Segment. We got a good one for you guys, especially we got the NFL season upon us. So you already know we got to go ahead and kind of stay in that lane. So with the first question, or first thing we're going to talk about or kind of dissect, and this is a very good one that we went ahead and came up with. Breakout player this year for the AFC or NFC. I have mine. You had to have me get all queued up, and I think mine is definitely going to be, I would say, pretty dope. Okay. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see what you got. You go ahead and go first. Let me know which player that's going to go ahead and be someone that's going to bust out in the AFC.
All right, so just a quick little brief breakdown on what I was thinking. So when I asked this question, I was really I was trying to think about like not rookies going into their second year, knowing they'll probably be a little better because they a little bit more familiar with the scenery, all of that. I ain't got to go into that. I didn't really want to go there. I wanted to go to the player that was like maybe in his third or fourth year that was about to take another jump because there's times in people's career where maybe it take you a little longer. You feel what I'm saying? Like with quarterbacks, sometimes quarterbacks it take them 7 years because it's a bunch being thrown at you.
Right.
And life is moving so fast, i.e. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. We can go all over the place. I think Daniel Jones might be able to revamp his career. You know what I'm saying? I think he will. Who knows? Motherfucker might be back in New York in a few years and be the quarterback that they projected him to be. Who knows? It really gets like that because that's just how I'm saying. But so I wanted to I watched a little bit of last year. And I'm like, okay, this player fit well within that offense. This player fitted well within that defense. Now, how can they take that next level from probably going good to great?
Right.
Like from a good player to a great player. And now you're like an impact player on that team instead of just being a good player. That's how I wanted to describe that. So when I thought about that and I came with one player from the AFC. Some guys may be familiar with him, some guys may not. He's made plays here and there every other few games, but then there's some games where he ain't even targeted or he ain't even, in the game plan. And I'm just like, bro, he have a lot of athleticism, a lot of like we see when he make plays, like he has this range that need to be like we need to put eyes to this range. We need to put spotlight on this range. Like, hey, this is a guy that's a weapon. And if we utilize him more, it unlocks another layer to our offense. Now, I break that down. I say I have to say this. So I picked Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is the tight end from the Baltimore Ravens. Number 80. I'm not going to say he's an undersized tight end, but he's more of like a receiver tight end. Like last year, he was lining up at wide receiver when Zay Flowers was out. Like he was lining up out there and making things happen. And I just think that need to be incorporated more. Like that needs to be incorporated more. And he needs the ball more because I think he is a matchup problem for linebackers and safeties. He's fast. He's shifty. He can move side to side. He can block. He can catch one hand. He can catch over the middle. He can go up and get the ball over people in the end zone. He's good with Lamar. So why isn't he targeted more? I understand you got Mark Andrews there, and I understand the whole system is regarding around Lamar and the run game and all of that. But this is a weapon that can take your offense to another level. To another level. Like, if we really think about it, it can take it to another level. Like, you remember the jump, bro, before that tight end from the Cardinals, McBride?
Yeah.
Before people started talking about him, I didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was either.
But when I start hearing his name and I'm playing fantasy football last year and I keep seeing this motherfucker, I'm like, oh, who is he? So then I watched him. I'm like, he got game.
Yeah.
That's the type of jump that I think Likely can make. So that's what I want to see with that. I think Isaiah Likely from the Baltimore Ravens tight end will be that player that takes this offense to another level and he goes over 1,000 yards this year. He has over 70, 80 catches this year and a really, really, really big red zone target this year for the Ravens. That's how I got that. Now, you can go and do your NFC or AFC pick, and I pick my NFC player after you go, so whichever one you're going to do.
Yep, I'll stay with the AFC. So I'm in the AFC South. So, you got the Texans, you got the Colts, you got the Jags, you got the Tennessee Titans. So now you know that I love the wide receiver position, played wide receiver, got transferred from running back to wide receiver, as if you guys know or don't know. Lipp obviously was a wide receiver at Michigan State. This is kind of really how we went ahead and vibed out. So I love when guys go ahead and be able to go ahead and get off the line, break people down in routes, consistency, do what they do, and just make plays. So this is out of Tennessee Titans. I got Calvin Ridley. Now, Calvin Ridley has been one of those guys that a lot of people, especially that I've ran into, I would say from the wide receiver position, be like, he's nice. Like, even though he might not have the numbers, but if we all remember when he was with the Falcons in 2020, he had Julio Jones next to him, and he was damn near doing the same thing, even though Julio Jones is a freak athlete. He did what he needed to do. Calvin Ridley was doing the same thing. He had a 1,300-yard season. And then when he was with the Jags in 2023, he had a 1,000-yard season. And then he had a 1,000-yard season with the Tennessee Titans. And he ain't have no quarterback. Now he's got a Cam Ward over there. You know, Cam Ward is going to feed him. He's already been talking about, like, bro, like, this is the craziest. He's saying he's the best wide receiver he's ever seen in his life. Like, Cam Ward came out and said that he was the best wide receiver he has ever seen. And I fully believe that because, first off, Calvin Ridley has routes. And Calvin Ridley can get open. So I think he's going to have, like you said earlier, a guy that's just going to have a monster year towards maybe his end of, not even end of his career, like towards his later years. He's going to be one of those guys where I think he's about to explode this year. Like I'm talking about he's going to be maybe top 5 in yards. He's going to be doing things that he's accustomed of doing on a consistency. Maybe not getting injured as much, you know, obviously that happens. But I think Calvin Ridley is going to be a guy that's definitely going to be a shock kind of to just re-improve like, hey, like, I'm one of them ones too. Like I can do all the things, all the routes. So I got him definitely coming out of there to the AFC to be one of those guys that have a huge year.
No, that's a dope year. I mean, shit, he should be targeted at least 190 times this year for sure. I'm dealing with Cam Ward. Cam Ward can really throw the ball. So I like that pick, though. He is one of those guys that I think he has more to give. I think he has more in his tank. I think he got a 1,500-yard season in him. You know, one of those seasons, especially with the right situation, the right vibes, the right frequency around it. So, yeah, I rock with that pick right there. Now, let me go to my NFC choice. I had 2 choices, but then I broke it down. So I'm like, which one do I feel like is going to really take his team to the next level? And I think both of them are good picks. I say the one that I was thinking about at the end. But the one I chose to go with was Bijan Robinson, running back from the Falcons. I think he's entering his 3rd year. The last couple years been cool. We've seen that he can do some dynamic things, catching the ball out the backfield, running the ball, very explosive, very LaDainian Tomlinson-esque. Now it's time to put it all together like LT used to do. I grew up watching LaDainian Tomlinson. Man, that motherfucker was cold, bro. LaDainian Tomlinson was super cold. Like, every week, passing, running. Like, he was throwing touchdowns too. But running, receiving, like, whatever it was, like, LaDainian Tomlinson made running back look sweet. Yeah. Like, he made that shit look sweet. Like, it wasn't about just running through motherfuckers all the time. Like, he made that shit look sweet. I think Bijan Robinson has that in him. I think this is a guy. Let me see. Can he do that?
Oh, he for sure can do that.
I think we probably got maybe 3 running backs in the league that can go for 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season.
That would be incredible.
I think he has the potential to do that. I'm not saying he will, but I think he has the potential to do that. I think it's him, Jahmyr Gibbs, and maybe this other guy. And this other guy was the guy I was picking. This other guy was the guy I was going to pick outside of Bijan Robinson if I did pick Bijan Robinson. And that was just Bucky Irvin from the Bucks, the running back.
That's a very good pick. He is.
Yeah.
I will never forget. I forget what game it was. I think it was Baltimore. They're playing Baltimore Ravens. They got dog walked. They got their ass kicked. But he was getting because people that know football, like, it's very hard to go ahead and get a first down. Let alone if you get it at a running back against a very good defense. Bro, he got like a stretch play, got it, jumped to the right, ran for like 5 yards, and then went ahead and did something else to go ahead and get a first down. I'm like, dude, this guy is serious. And you look at that play, you're like, all right, like, that ain't nothing. Like, they're supposed to do that. Like, that is just common. Yeah, you are, but to really know football, like, that is a very hard play to do as a running back. But no, I like that. Both those picks were solid.
Yeah, so that was my discrepancy. I'm thinking like, damn, should I pick Bucky Irvin or Bijan Robinson? I just think Bijan Robinson got a little bit more than Bucky, but Bucky is nice. I like Irvin. So shout out. See, in this show right here, bro, we talk about the guys that motherfuckers don't really like. They talk about them, but they don't really talk about them. They just probably throw their name out there because they probably seen them on a highlight. No, I can break down Dog game. Dog is very shifty. Dog is very. He's not that type. He's like A-Chan a little bit. The guy over there in Miami. He's like
Yeah.
they like in the same family. I wanted to say he was no, I ain't gonna say that. He ain't that. Because I was about to say Ward Dunn, but Ward Dunn was a guy. Ward
Yeah.
Dunn was nice, but Ward Dunn used to run the ball in between the tackles as well, stretch. But Ward Dunn was like he can catch the ball at the backfield. But he was a smaller running back. But it was different back then. So those are my two picks, just breakout players of the year that can take their game to new heights. Like not just, hey, I had 700 yards last year and I'm gonna go to 1,000 this year. I'm talking about doubling that type shit. I think those players can double their type total yards, and it will impact the team that they're on tremendously. And they have to when they go into play the Bucks or the Falcons or the Ravens. Yeah, you got all these other guys to worry about. You got to worry about Drake London and Mike Evans and Godwin and Baker Mayfield and then these guys over here. But you got to circle this motherfucker in the backfield too. You got to know where he line up at because while you watching Mike Evans and Godwin and a bouquet, this dude gonna slash you right through the middle and be gone, and it's gonna be over with. Those are my picks. I like your pick. I'm waiting to see this last pick. What you got?
So we're gonna go ahead and get into the NFC West. So obviously the NFC West, we got the Rams, we got the Seahawks, we got the Cardinals, we got the 49ers. I'm also a very good big quarterback guy. I like my quarterbacks. I like guys that just make plays. I went ahead and went wide receiver, the AFC. Now I'm going quarterback. You might know who it's probably going to be, but maybe not. Going with the Cardinals, and I'm going with Kyler Murray.
Okay.
We've been harping Kyler Murray on this show for goddamn, I don't know however this started. I know that you have said Kyler Murray. I've said Kyler Murray to be one of those guys that go ahead and where it all finally clicks, right? If you go ahead and look at his whole career, he's been injured. He's played through injuries.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL, came back. He's had shoulder problems. He's had this. He's had that. But he's continued to go ahead and put his best foot forward. Last year, he had 3,800 yards, 21 TDs, 11 receptions. Quarterback rating was 93. That 2013 year, that's when he went ahead and tore his ACL, and he was on a tear that year. Maybe being to where he might have his best season ever. Who knows? But all in all, what I'm saying here, in that division, right, NFC West, you got the Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers. We don't really know what we're getting from the 49ers. We don't even know what we're getting from the Seahawks. We know what we're getting from the Rams. Rams are probably going to be the ones that go ahead and win that division. But if I'm looking at this right now with no, roster and just quarterback play, I'm taking Kyler Murray over Purdy. I'm taking Kyler Murray over whoever they got in the Seahawks. That's going to be the guy. And the only one that's a dilemma that is not going to be is obviously I'm taking Matthew Stafford over Kyler Murray. But it could change because we don't know if Kyler Murray's going to be really on that. For those people that know who Kyler Murray is, Heisman winner. Guy went ahead and threw for a gajillion yards over Oklahoma. He played baseball. He was at Texas A&M. He is a winner. He's a playmaker, and you have to account for him. Like, teams still account for him, even though that the record might not show it. They still respect Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray can definitely make plays. Yeah. So I think he's going to have I think this year, these two guys that I've said, Calvin Ridley and Kyler Murray, are going to go off. And I think the Cardinals, last year they were 8-9. They were still in a lot of games. I think that they're going to be flirting second in their division. They're going to be right behind the Rams. That might be the only real team that the Rams really have to worry about because that defense is solid too for the Cardinals. They've been building that up. They got guys at the D-line. They got guys that's in the box. They got guys in the back end and at corner. They got weapons. Marvin Harrison Jr. put on 20 pounds of muscle. He looks like a freaking alien out there.
Yeah.
They got the tight end that you mentioned. They got running back in Connor, who's a solid guy that's going to go ahead and compete.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see him do his thing. So that is my
Their
NFC.
Defense got better too. Their defense got.
Yeah, that is my team.
You think, just quick, do you think they got a chance to win a division? Because obviously you don't know about the Seahawks. You don't know about the 49ers. Yeah. Do you think they got a split chance to, somehow not even win a division? Let's not go there. Let's not go win a division because that's a little. Do they make the playoffs as a wild card team?
If I think that Kyler Murray, in my brain of where I think he can play, I think they definitely could flirt with a wild card game.
Okay, tough. I rock with it.
because if Kyler Murray that we've known to see, I think he can definitely get that job done. He's still one of those top guys. He can make any throw. You think he can't see? Like he's a guy that's gonna go ahead and show me that. Yeah, like no, I'm one of them ones. So
Okay.
yeah, those are great NFC, AFC teams or individual players, excuse me, to go ahead and to kind of highlight. I think all those that we have mentioned, they're gonna definitely do their thing.
Good, man. That's what we do, man. You just gonna highlight the real football, man. Some people don't, some people just browse through shit, and I'm not saying they don't know the game, but they just talk about what they hear. A lot of people just talk about what they hear from other networks, from other people, and other things, and they just kind of talk about the same things. But
Right.
no, let's talk about that third corner, that nickel corner that's gonna take that step up. You feel me? Let's talk about teams making the next jump and how they're gonna do that. Not just still talking about, hey, is the Cowboys gonna the Cowboys gonna do this and that. Like, talk about some real shit. Like, and that's what we doing. That's just what it is now. We ain't gonna talk about the shit that's on TV. We're gonna leave that for TV. They're gonna do what they do on TV.
Right.
Keep it, whatever level they keep it on. We just gonna dive deep into, giving players they love, giving players they credit. But we're gonna talk our shit too, because that's just competitors that we are. Like, it ain't never nothing like, personal or anything like that. But when we on that field, and if you've been on that field, like, it get like that. You feel me? So if you can, if I'm on here and I'm talking shit about you, or you think I'm talking shit about you, bro, it's love, bro. I respect the game. I respect the grind. I'm just talking competitive, spirit. And I think I would have fucked you up too. So if I think that, I'm definitely gonna talk like that. You feel what I'm saying? So, but that's just what it is. Like, I ain't saying like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I give people credit where credit is due. But if you ain't doing what the fuck you need to do, I might say something. I might not. That's what we do here, man. We breaking down the game. We breaking down the players, highlighting the players, showing love, man. That's what we do on the Top Show, man. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what it is. Let's go ahead and move on over to obviously the other kind of topic that we're on. Eagles obviously won it last year. They got the target on their back. What is their biggest threat when it comes to a team that they're going to face this year? NFC, AFC, because they're definitely going to be the ones that are going to go ahead and have those games where it's like, shit, like it's just not happening right now. Or they're just in those games like, bro, we can't have anything go right. You maybe be fumbling the football, you maybe throwing interceptions, defensive giving up 300 plus yards, total offense. What are two teams or whatever, one, two, three, that are going to go ahead and give this Eagles teams fits this year?
I'm gonna just go two teams. I'm gonna go two teams in the AFC, two teams in the NFC. I ain't gonna break them all down, but I'll just briefly say why. First, I'm gonna go to the NFC, and I think these two teams are gonna give them fits. And we picked the Eagles because they are the defending champions.
Right.
And now, everybody is crowning to beat them. Every time people play the Eagles, you're going to get their best bet because they're weighing themselves against you. You are a championship team. You are the most recent championship team. We need to see how we line up against you. In the AFC, the two teams that I feel like are the best two teams that threatens the Eagles as far as repeating this year, I would definitely say, obviously, the Baltimore Ravens. I definitely think the Baltimore Ravens is one of those teams. And the next team, I believe, in the AFC, I mean, obviously, Baltimore Ravens for obvious reasons. I ain't got to break that down. Y'all know the Baltimore Ravens. I think the next one will probably be, I'm going to have to go Bills. I'm going to have to go to Buffalo Bills just because of Josh Allen and the pool that he has and the playmaking ability that he has and the versatility that he has. Just the Bills team in all. They was always a young team, but now they had a year older. They got guys that can rush the passer. They got guys that can cover. Their coach been there forever, so they know how they want to play. They added a couple weapons to the offense, but you got Josh Allen. He's the main weapon. Hopefully they get James Cook signed because he was a big part of their team last year. That's why I chose to go Ravens Bills. Are two pretty obvious teams. They definitely threaten. You can see either one of those teams in the Super Bowl versus the Eagles, and you can see those teams knocking them off. So that's why I chose the Ravens and the Bills. Now moving on to the NFC, which is their direct conference. The two teams that I would say threatens them the most are obviously the Rams. I don't know if it's obvious, but I think the Rams are a team that's always well coached. They were a young team last year, but they were good. They were good. Those young players played. They added Devontae Adams. They're healthier. They got it. They drafted the tight end in the second round from Oregon. Their defense is live. I think they got damn near defensive player of the year on their defense line. That Verse dude, oh, he's a beast. A fucking beast, bro. Working out with Aaron Donald, I'm looking at him like, bro, this dude, bro. I watched him in the playoffs last year. He was talking that shit before they played Philly and then walked up in there and backed it up. Walked up in there, had like 3 sacks, PFLs, everything. He like, nigga, yeah, I'm like that. I'm a D lineman. You think I'm not about to talk shit to y'all? What y'all gonna do to me? Let's go. This is what we do. Like, this is combat out here. And I'm on your ass every play. And I'm gonna tell you about it. I rock with that. So obviously the Rams, heads up on the defensive player of the year, Curse. He's definitely a candidate, which I feel. And the other team in the NFC that threatens the Eagles' championship aspirations this year, repeat aspirations, I would have to say, shit. I'm going to go to Lions. Damn, do I want to go to Lions? I'm going to go to Lions. I wanted to go Commanders, but I'm not. I'm going to just go to Lions just off the strength of what they've done the last 2 years, how they prepared, how they've been, in the second or last round in playoffs the last couple years. They've always played better. They always got better. So those two teams are a threat to the Eagles in the NFC as well.
No, I have to go ahead and back that up with you. I was gonna say like he's either probably gonna say the Lions, the Commanders. I'm what you were saying, the Lions. I just think, especially with the Eagles, and you look just matchup wise of last year, just based off what we saw, I think those 4 teams, Bills, Ravens, Lions, and Rams, I think those are 4 like legitimate teams where like that's gonna come down to the end.
Yeah.
To where like someone's gonna have to make plays individually. We shall see, man. To be honest with you, I think how good of team that the Eagles are, it wouldn't be surprised if they get back to where they get back to as they did last year. Because they have a very good football team on both ends. They got playmakers, they got guys, they got the D-line, they got the running game, they got the wide receivers, they got the back end, they got a squad. But we don't know. We shall see. But and then last but not least here, there are some teams that obviously did not make the playoffs last year. I'll go ahead and go through them real quick here. From the AFC, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets, Indianapolis Colts. NFC, New York Giants, Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks. And then the team that was on the cusp of the AFC, that was the Bengals and the Dolphins. And then on the fringe as well were the Falcons. So we'll go ahead and start with the AFC. Which team out of those ones that I mentioned, or 2, or however it is, because I probably only be one. I don't have the bracket thing here. But out of those teams, which one do you think is definitely going to go ahead and get in the playoffs this year out of the AFC?
This might shock you, because I don't think we said nothing about this team. Boy, I don't think we said nothing about this team in a good second. Well, really not even a good second. I don't remember last time we said something about this team. The team that I got not making the playoffs this year, that didn't make the playoffs last year, I'm going to go, that was a great play. What a boy, nasty. I'm going to go to Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go to Colts. Bruh, I think they are a solid roster of a team, bro. They got Pittman. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got offensive line. You got good defensive linemen. You added to the secondary. They got Ward from the Niners. So they bring over a lockdown, damn near lockdown corner. Not even just lockdown, just a competitive Super Bowl. He played in the Super Bowl multiple. Like, he really good. And then you got Lou Anarumo. He was the defense coordinator for the Bengals the last few years. The Bengals didn't put no money into the defense, but he did what he can do there. Really good coach. But the players he have in Indianapolis are way better than the players he had in Cincinnati. And he's a really good coach. So he's going to, put them guys in position to make that. And the Indianapolis coach didn't have no bad defense. They ain't been known as, a terrible defense. They offense kind of been a problem. And just finishing. I'm gonna just say the Colts. That is a team in the AFC that I feel like didn't make the playoffs last year, the last couple years, and they are putting themselves in position. I think Daniel Jones is going to end up being the starting quarterback of the Colts. I just don't think the Anthony Richardson kid is ready, bro. Like I ain't see it last year, and he kind of started off a little bit this year. I'm kind of seeing like he don't really know what he's doing, bro. And players that don't know what they're doing, you ain't just gonna one day know what the fuck you doing. It's gonna take work, and if you ain't working, if you ain't putting in that shit, and sometimes you can work as hard as you can be. Like there's some motherfuckers that are 4-7 guys, bro. You can work as hard as you want to work. You will never run a 4-4. Never. You can work as hard as you want to work, but you ain't gonna be able to do that because it's not from the time you was born, it wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's just what I say with that. So nothing against Anthony Richardson. I think he has a lot of talent, but that talent shit don't mean nothing. It might mean something in high school, but if you can't put that shit together, if you can't get positive yards on first down every fucking drive damn there, it's a wrap. So I got Daniel Jones being the starter for that team. And I got him kind of reviving his career a little bit. You know, he got weapons. He got Michael Pittman. He got Alec Pierce. He got Downs, number one. They got some weapons in there, bro. Like if they ran the right way, and then they got Jonathan Taylor. I had him on my fantasy team last year. I know he having 200-yard rushing games. Like he can take over a game by himself. So that's why I decided to pick the Colts. I just feel like that division is a little shaky. You don't really know who's gonna win the division. Yeah, maybe Houston, but who knows? So that's why I picked the Colts. That's my pick for the AFC.
No, looking at it, I would have definitely picked that one. And also on top of it, Daniel Jones, I mean, he came obviously from the Vikings, kind of got that O'Connell-like vibe of like, hey, like maybe your thought process can go in and be a little bit different. You know, he's doing still practice stuff for different teams. And, you know, O'Connell knows how to go ahead and take care of his quarterbacks and knows how to go ahead and teach them. So, like, what were you thinking here? Just always questioning his brain or like his process on certain things. So he knows like, all right, this, and this. Like, that helps a guy, especially like Daniel Jones, who's had kind of a really crazy down career, not really knowing what to do with the Giants. Ain't really had a quarterback coach with the Giants, to be honest, or offensive coordinator.
I think Brian Dable is not a bad. I don't know him as a head coach, but I
Yeah,
think as far as like calling plays, I don't think it was like a play calling thing with the Giants.
yeah.
You feel me? I don't think it was a play calling thing. But I mean, maybe he could have done better. Maybe he signed there. He signed there when Daniel Jones was already there, so that was like never his guy, and that's how
Right.
that shit. Go. What I was about to say? It was something I was about to say. You know the guy that really helped Jalen Hurts in his career, like damn near like start his career, and like built that foundation to where we see now even when Jalen Hurts is like people think he's playing bad, he ain't turning the ball over. He's using his legs and he's just throwing it to the guys when they open and not overly forcing stuff and overly, putting himself in harm's way. You know who coached him to kind of do that?
Quarterback wise or coach?
And quarterback wise.
Well, whoever was there before him, was it Carson Wentz?
No, coach wise, not player. No, coach wise.
Coach.
Don't even worry about it. Coach wise is the coach for the coach. It was a Shane Steichen or something like that.
Yeah.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Remember? Before when they went to the Super Bowl the first year, he had left and went to the Colts.
Yes.
And he's still there. So Daniel, like you feel me? Like it can potentially work. That's why I was hoping like I thought that was a good spot for Anthony Richardson to go to because of Shane Steichen. He helped, if I'm not mistaken, I think he helped Carson Wentz as well. I think was he the coach there with Carson Wentz? I think so. I don't know. Maybe it was that, and then he had Jalen Hurts. So sometimes when you get traded, or when a team don't want you, like especially as a quarterback, it's like, damn, these motherfuckers don't want me. I really gotta like focus now, and it can your career can go a few ways. And I think Daniel Jones is one of those guys where who knows, he can have a turnaround like Baker Mayfield. You feel me? He can fuck around and be Chad Pennington. He can be just a guy that just make things happen. Not overly super cold, but just, an NFL quarterback. I think that's cool, but I got the Colts. That's what I got.
Now let's move on over, obviously, the NFC. We got New York Giants, Chicago Bears, Panthers, Saints, 49ers, Cowboys, Cardinals, Seahawks. Which one do you think out of those 8 teams sound like they can definitely go ahead and possibly get in the playoffs this year?
I would have said the Cowboys, but then I heard what my man said on TV yesterday, talking about his players. I don't think that energy is gonna, permeate through that locker room, and that's gonna make them want to go out there and, run through a wall for a guy that don't want to, a billionaire. Don't even get me started, bro. Don't get me. I almost started myself. Don't worry about it. It all change. It all go back. Yeah, all that stuff. But like I said, I would have picked the Cowboys, but that ain't happening no more. So a team that did not make the playoffs last year in the NFC that I feel like are going to be in a good position to make the playoffs this year. Yep, I'm going with them. I'm going. I'm going with the. We don't talk about this team either. I'm going with Carolina Panthers, boy. I'm going with the Panthers to sneak in that division. We don't know how that division gonna be. I think the Panthers defense are a solid defense. They got some guys on there. They got Horn. They got some interior guys. They got some guys. Bryce Young played like he played after he got benched. When he came back, you can tell he kind of played with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more chill. He kind of played like he played at Bama. Like, bro, just go play fucking football. Like,
Right.
go play football. And now they got some weapons. They got T-Mac. They got Adam Thielen. They got a couple running backs over there. They have some stuff. And that division is not that tough right then and there. So if you can beat the Saints and you can beat the Falcons and you can make it competitive versus the Bucks, you can mess around and be, a 6 or a 7 seed. Who knows? That's how I look at that. So for my team in the NFC that's going to surprise some people and make the playoffs this year, I would say Carolina Panthers. Indeed.
They definitely get Carolina rocking. I can see that happen. I'm still going to stick to my guns, and I said earlier, I'm going to Arizona Cardinals. I think they're definitely going to be a team that's going to sneak in there. I think I'm still on the Kyler Murray having a crazy year. And when I say crazy year, like an efficient where he makes plays year. Like, and if it goes to where he has over 4,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns, and under 10 interceptions, I mean, that's going to be where you're going to be talked about top 5 in the top 10 quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Cardinals. I think that they've always been like, you look at them and be like, damn, like this can be a great football team. Like this can be a team that can go ahead and put it all together. And I think this is the year they're going to put it all together. So you see it there, people. Teams that we got coming out of the NFC, we got the Carolina Panthers, and I had the Arizona Cardinals. And then we got in the AFC, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones is going to go ahead and have a comeback year. He might be comeback player of the year, or whatever that is. But they still give out that week award because, awards on this show to us, except MVP. I would say that, except MVP means something. I don't know. But I think those picks are definitely solid. Man, what else is there before we take these people out, man? Nice little on-time episode. Something outside of sports or inside of sports that you wanna highlight real quick.
I think tomorrow is I think every team in the NFL, but 1 or 2 teams are in camp today. I think the Steelers start tomorrow and another team start tomorrow. So it's 2 teams that start tomorrow. So by tomorrow, every team will be in training camp. I'm sending y'all boys love. Sending y'all boys peace, sending y'all boys health, sending y'all boys strength. You feel what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand, like, training camp. Like, that shit cool, that shit fun, but it ain't easy. Like, training camp is not easy. It's like I said, like, in sports, you're asked to be your greatest self every day. In real life, you're not asked to be your greatest self walking into your job and going and sitting at a desk or going and carrying by, whatever you're doing. No disrespect to what everybody's doing, because I understand the ways of life and where it takes you. But you're not asked to give and do what you're asked to give and do in sports. It's no fucking way. So shout out to those guys that's going in every day, that's protecting each other, that's strapping it up for each other, that's getting better. It's fun. I'm sure in some places it's 100 degrees. They still out there getting it in. Like I said, I'm praying for y'all boys for health, man. Obviously injuries come with the game. I just hope it ain't nothing too major. Nothing too major for guys. I understand what injuries can do. Period. So I pray I'm shooting, giving y'all boys health, giving y'all boys love, and shit. Go out there, man. Do what you love to do, man. Go out there and do what you love to do. Have fun. It's still a game. Don't make too much of the shit. Enjoy it. You feel what I'm saying? Because like sometimes you'll look up and that shit will be gone just like that. You won't be out there no more
Facts.
playing. So enjoy that shit. That's one thing I tell you, but I enjoy that shit. So I don't look back and have no regrets as far as the game. Cause I was fucking niggas up. But yeah, but just enjoy yourself, man. Have fun. I'm sending health y'all way. It's a brotherhood. You already know, man. That's always love to my football player. I'm talking about all y'all. All
Facts.
70, all 100 y'all on the rosters right now. I hope all y'all get what y'all deserve, man. Shit, man. Enjoy this shit, man. Enjoy it. All love, my boys.
That's how we'll take it out. Hey, make sure y'all drink out water. Be a nice person. Don't be on that, bullshit. Hey, keep your head on a swivel. Crazy world out here. But go ahead and spread out peace and love. As you see here, my good brother Tony Lippett on the screen. Me, RJ Shelton, we are out. See y'all next week. Peace out, everybody.